What up, Wichita? Welcome to the Wichita Dinner Table. Tonight is Wednesday, September 24th. I'm your host, Eddie, and back for another round, we have my co-host, DJ Carbon.
What is good, ICT? How you doing?
We have Troy Trussell with Live Local.
What's up, Wichita?
Who also has a brand new Facebook page, by the way. Make sure you go follow. What's a Facebook page, Troy?
Three guys looking for wieners. The wieners have grown legs, and they have moved away from Live Local. Now they're running a third leg. They're on their own.
They're on their own.
They grew a third leg. Yep.
You grows up and you grows up.
And we have our everyone's favorite wiener, the Kansas Gastronomist.
I was in the Las Vegas airport on Sunday, and there was a Nathan's hot dog, not stand, but little section. And guess what I ordered?
What'd you order?
A burger?
A cheeseburger.
Did you really?
Oh, man.
Thought of Troy and said, nope, we're getting a burger.
Yeah, I was like,
Did it have a
no
wiener
way.
on it?
Yeah.
Did it have a wiener on it, too?
No, it was just a cheeseburger.
Oh,
yeah. I was like, why not? Let's mix it up.
You're the guy that goes to Dairy Queen and orders a burger too, right?
yeah.
Yes.
I was actually in Chicago last week, and I too had a hot dog. I had a Portillo's Chicago dog, and it was magnificent.
I'll bet it was. Was it as magnificent as having Annette join us all of a sudden?
We just finished introductions, so
That's right.
just in time, we have Annette Lawless.
Oh, hi. What's up? How are you guys?
We're just talking about Troy's brand new Facebook page.
What is this page? I saw a teaser or something. Or do I want to know?
Three guys looking for wieners. Three guys looking for wieners has grown its own legs. Yes.
Oh, boy. I can only imagine.
Just when you thought the world couldn't have
I know.
anymore.
That's all we need in this life is more wieners.
Right.
I'm done.
All right. So, Annette, while you're here, I was out of town most last week, so I wasn't able to catch the latter week's episodes of Kansas Now. How's that going?
The show is good. We're actually, my husband's right here. We're on the road a little bit filming for our show, and we're having a great time. I mean, for sure. I love showcasing. I love ignoring the national stuff, so it's kind of fun to highlight all the good in our community, and there's tons of it.
What's the feedback been so far from your fans?
I think it's been pretty excellent. I mean, I'm sure there's some people who are like, oh, I wish, they don't like change. I totally get it, but hopefully they'll see all the good and glory and enjoy. And yeah, so come on if you haven't already, or DVR. I know for some people they can't watch us because the time at 9 a.m, but record us.
And it's very evergreen. So if you record it, the morning episode, and you watch it later that day, that evening, it's still valid. It still works.
Still applies. Yeah, cool. You guys have been so kind and so supportive. So thank you guys so much.
All right. Upcoming events. I have to say this might be, and I know I say this quite a bit, but I really do believe this is probably the biggest event weekend in Wichita. Let's write it down. All right, now through September 27th, it's ICT Restaurant Week. So if you go to ictrw.com, there's a list of roughly 30 or so restaurants that if you go to one of them, any of them, they're going to give back in some capacity to the Kansas Food Bank. We had them on a couple weeks ago or whatever, and they do big work for the community. So please, 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 if you plan to go out to eat this week, do so at one of these restaurants or even Dylan's. That's going on till Sunday or the 27th. Thursday at Exploration Place, it's Sip and Build. You can unwind with a drink in hand, nibble from a grazing table, and enjoy and build Legos. So it's a great little adult event surrounded by one of America's favorite toys. Then Friday through Sunday, it's the Greater Andover Days. This is their fall festival at Andover Central Park. There's a Kid Fest, a Saturday night concert with astronauts, petting zoos, rides, food, and more. Then Friday, Wichita Art Museum turns 90. Is there a term for 90? Like how earlier we talked about like
Semi-quincent.
Yeah.
I no.
Okay.
OAF.
Have no idea.
All right. This is a free party to celebrate its birthday from 6 to 8 p.m. Our very own DJ Carbon is on the soundtrack, along with some fun and surprises.
Indeed.
Carbon, is somebody else doing the carousel skate night later that night then?
Justin Scratch, the one and only Jay Scratch, will be holding it down at Carousel. I'll probably swing through there after I'm done because I don't know how long it's going to take me to load out of there. But I'm excited. I love being at the art museum and being at Estrada. There's going to be some live dancers going on in some of the art spaces. There's a handful of surprises that are going on, and it's always a great time over there. So, but yeah, I'll probably be pulling double duty that evening. It's October, man. I don't think I'm at Carousel once. So whenever I can get over, even if it's only for a part of it, I'll be there.
Okay. Saturday's listing. Brace yourself here. Everything kicks off. I wrote these out of order on time, so we're gonna make it work. Saturday, Wagon Masters Downtown Chili Cook-Off, starting at high noon in downtown Wichita. I've said this multiple times. I think this is one of the most well-run, biggest food events in town. I'll be on hand there. They asked me to be the chili potentate. I think that's the term. Mm-hmm. So I'll be going around in a golf cart, all chili cook-off with a jacket of some sort, visiting all the booths. And I have to decide like the spirit award because I'm filled with so much spirit, I guess. I don't know.
But, I'm surprised they asked you and not TKG.
I know, the most spirited person in the world right there.
I'm hoping to be at Chili Fest, and so if I'm there, Chili Cook-Off. Sorry, Chili Cook-Off. I hate fest. Anyway,
right?
Yeah. So hopefully, Eddie, you'll wherever I'm at, you'll give the award to that area because of my enthusiasm.
When you arrive, I'm making a big scene out of it.
It's about how spirited like the people cooking the chili are, right? At each booth.
Yeah, that and like they're like the booths themselves, like how they're decorated, maybe the costumes and whatnot. Because there's some teams that really go all out for it. But that is to attend. It's free to attend, but if you want to participate in the chili, it's only $5 for a tasting kit, and all that money goes towards the Good Life Grants, which supports local causes. And there's also a 50-50 raffle that you can enter. You can purchase tickets now as well. Last year's pot was around $20,000. All right. Also on Saturday, it's the Maze Fall Festival from 10 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. And then on Saturday and Sunday, it's the Great Plains Renaissance Festival at Sedgwick County Park. So that's a big one. I don't know if you guys have ever been to that one, but it is massively attended, and everybody's all decked out.
Yeah, I haven't been in years, and I know it's just grown like wildfire. But man, yeah, it's always a great time. I would just keep my fingers crossed for them for good weather this weekend.
We all need to show up one of the years and dress up as LARPers or.
I'm in.
Yeah,
I'm in.
I would do it. Yeah, I'm down.
I can go on Sunday. I can't do Saturday.
I love a good costume. So
I would challenge TKG to a duel. That would be great.
To watch you.
TKG.
Oh, my mental imagery right now. Oh, wow.
Have you guys ever seen the movie Shrek?
Yes.
Who is that evil character? Lord
Farquaad.
Farquaad. That's who TKG reminds me of.
Because of looks or personality?
Personality, I'm guessing.
I'm just gonna leave it. Yeah, I'm not gonna comment any further on that one.
Just leave it out there.
Yeah, that's who you remind me of, TKG. You'd make that'd be a great character for you. All right. Saturday at the Great Plains Transportation Museum, it's Railfest 2025. It's an exciting day of activities, including train rides, locomotive cab rides, live music, food by the artichoke, face painting, balloon sculptures, and more. Also on Saturday, it's ICT Michelada Madness at the Kansas International Dragway from 2 p.m. to 11 p.m. I'll be there as one of the food judges. There'll be Michelada samples, car and truck shows, racing events, and of course, all the food and drink vendors. And if you're still haven't decided what to do, Saturday is the 44th annual Wichita Asian Festival at Century 2. This is probably one of the biggest festivals of Asian vendors, crossing so many different ethnic backgrounds of food, dances, all that stuff. That's Saturday. Then moving on to Sunday, you have Cars and Coconuts at Sharky's Island Bites West from 9 a.m. to noon. If you're not tired of seeing cars for Michelada Fest, then you can stop by Sharky's on Sunday. And then Shop and Grub is on Sunday at Expression Place from noon to 4 p.m. And then the weekend rounds out with Open Streets ICT in downtown Wichita.
With container portability in the Delano area, I'm so anxious to see how this plays out. Now, I do have a question on that. In Delano, did they just change the parking? Then now it's 2 hours till 10 p.m. Do you know, was that a recent change, or was it always like that?
I did not see anything.
I didn't see anything about Delano parking. What was that you asked?
So I was down there recently this past weekend. I had a wedding at Oddfellow, and I noticed that the parking is now 2-hour parking on most of those slots on Douglas, all the way till 10 p.m. And I was like, is that a new change? I don't recall that.
What do you mean, like cars have to be out of there by then, or?
No. Just the parking is, 2-hour parking, but normally it was like 8 a.m. till 5 p.m. Now it extends all the way till 10 p.m. And I wasn't sure if that was a recent change or if it always was, and I just never noticed.
I don't know. Might have to ask. I'll shoot a text over to our friend Jen Ray over at the Monarch and see if she knows.
Yeah, if that was a recent change or not. But no, I'm definitely going to be down there for Open Streets. I'm very curious to see what that open container area is going to look like for a little bit of outdoor festivities.
And Open Streets this year is a little more condensed. So they cut off the College Hill area, and now it's going to be, I think, from like East High School to Delano. So it's more condensed, more walkable for everyone, or, if you want to ride your bike and whatnot. So now you can like really, explore the whole Open Streets footprint. Because I know last year I took my daughter, and going all the way from Delano to College Hill and
past
back.
Clifton.
Yeah. It was a little bit of a bike ride for her, especially when going like, uphill.
Yeah.
But Open Streets is always a fantastic time. I think it's one of the best free community events, in the city.
Yeah. They've done a great job in building that up. And also the different neighborhoods. It's always great to get to the different areas too.
And I know we always talk about some future events coming up. One is the Wichita Symphony Orchestra, who is kicking off their 2025-26 season. And, all right, our next guest, we are excited to have Tim Storhoff, the executive director with the Wichita Symphony. What's up,
Thanks for having
Tim?
me. Hey.
Welcome.
Glad to be here.
Absolutely.
You want to let everyone know who you are, what you do?
Yeah, Tim, just starting my second year with the Wichita Symphony. So I moved to Wichita last week, a year ago.
Oh, wow.
We pulled into town. So I'm excited to be going into our second season now. Have a year under my belt, and we've got some really exciting stuff coming up.
So before we get into the Wichita Symphony stuff, where'd you come from originally?
So I grew up in North Dakota, so I'm a Midwesterner, but most recently I was in North Carolina working with an orchestra out there.
Okay.
But excited to be back in the Midwest.
So favorite things about Wichita that you've learned over the last year?
I've got to start with the art scene because it is so collaborative. There are so many cool new organizations and real traditional ones that have been here for a long time, but everyone is excited to work together, try new things. It really is a community in that sense, which is amazing. As you all know, the food scene here is pretty good, and people told me that as I was moving to town. They're like, despite what you may think, we've got some great restaurants here, and I've found that to be the case. Yeah.
All right. Well, North Dakota is one of the handful of states I've yet to visit, so I'm going to touch base with you when I get that added on my list.
Yeah. You just need to dip into Fargo just a little bit, and you can check it out.
Yeah. All right. So Wichita Symphony, here in a couple weeks, there's some big events coming up on the calendar. I know, like, even that Thursday through Saturday, there's like 3 big shows taking place.
Yeah.
You want to let everyone know what's up?
So our season starts October 4th and 5th, and that's just in a couple weeks from right now when we're recording this. It's going to be a really fun way to start off the season because we've got a few different things going off. Before the music begins, we're doing a little event at Bubbles that Thursday evening, kind of a toast to the season a little bit, so you can meet the conductor, our concert master, have some champagne, and we'll have a listening party then also. So that'll be kind of a precursor a little bit. And then Saturday night, the 4th, We've got a really cool event at Friends University in Seabitz Auditorium, so newly remodeled there. We have a guest violinist coming in who is doing a solo show there. So he's the only instrumentalist, but you're going to have these massive projections behind him. He's playing music of Bach, some electronics mixed in there that he sort of interpolates along with some newer composers to really explore, how does this traditional music from hundreds of years ago sort of relate to today? And the visuals are going to be really cool. The media artist, Zwan, who created those, she's designed those specifically for this show. So it's going to be a full immersive multimedia experience. So that's going to be kind of intimate, experimental. And then he'll be taking stage, Alexi Kenny, the violin soloist, Sunday afternoon with the full orchestra. That concert is called Symphonic Metamorphosis. So if the opening concert is kind of intimate, experimental on Saturday, Sunday is huge, in your face, full orchestra, 80 plus musicians on stage. Cinematic, he's playing music by Korngold, who was a Hollywood composer back in the 30s and 40s. But you can still hear some of that John Williams feel in there and that type of thing. And then just some really big pieces that use all 80 instrumentalists on stage.
Very cool.
So you and I met over at the the Kansas leadership event a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, Leadership Wichita.
Yeah. So we didn't have a chance to talk much, but I've never been to the symphony before, and I'm not sure, Carbon, Troy, I'm not sure what your backgrounds are on it. I mean, if you're new to this as well.
I had once, years ago, but never lined up. There's been a couple events that I've really piqued my interest, but without fail, I'm working on a Saturday when most of these stuffs are going on. So always the hard part.
So for someone who's never been, what should they expect at one of these events?
I think if you've got these preconceptions that you need to get fully dressed up, please do not show up if you want to show up in a tuxedo, you are more than welcome to. But it isn't. Come as you are. You will. It's a good excuse to have a nice night out on the town if you want to throw a nice shirt on and all that. But you will see people from suits to shorts and flip flops. It really is a welcoming atmosphere. It's an experience where there's something special about a fully acoustic performance like that. The sound is coming straight from those instruments, bouncing off the walls in Century 2 and right into your eardrums. And when you're surrounded by other people feeling that at the same time, like you literally feel it in your chest with some of those timpani or low brass parts where the bass is moving right through you. Like those are those moments that you can't get when you're listening to music at home recorded. And it's that live energy that I think is, when you experience that, makes you want to come back again.
I think it's probably, I think music is best consumed live, like just live shows, concerts. Even like I know with Carver's background, you can listen to it at home and everything, but when you're in a club or a wedding or something like that, it just kind of amplifies the experience and gets your mood in that right space.
Yeah, and there's something, like you said, about the live instruments. I was just we had the Wichita Animal Action League, their Wags and Whiskers, and they had the Aerotones, which is a traditional big band. So they didn't have any amplification. It's just the instruments right there. Kind of loud during dinner sometimes. So it's like, wait, there's no volume adjustments. but to hear each and every one of those instruments and from an orchestra, you see it and you hear it. It's different, man. It's a magical thing that you don't quite get that experience anymore in an era of pre-recorded things. So it is something that's very special.
I've got a question for you, Tim, and it stems a little bit from my own experience, and then also Troy with Live Local mentioned something that made me think of it. What is the Wichita Symphony's involvement in the community as it relates to other performances? So, I mean, I'm sure that's understandable what I'm asking, but just as an example, I always go and see the Nutcracker by Ballet Wichita, and they have what they call the Ballet Wichita Symphony, and I'm sure there's got to be folks from the Wichita Symphony that are encompassed in the Ballet Wichita Symphony. Similar question on the Wichita Orchestra. And can you talk a little bit about that, or maybe I'm way off base?
Yeah, so I like to think that the symphony is kind of the musical engine of the community in a lot of ways, because you do have so many other organizations, and often they'll get our schedule so they can sort of plan around and make sure that they're going to have access to the best musicians in town to be in the pit or on stage for what they're putting on. So we work really well with Music Theater Wichita, because it's almost all our musicians that are in the pit there during the summer. That gives them work when our season is sort of off during the regular year. The opera, ballet, things like that. They're not necessarily hiring directly through us, but those musicians that you will see on stage featured at our concerts are typically the ones providing, they are the backbone of all these different arts performances in our community. And we give them that artistic outlet that gets them really excited doing what they love. And then during the week, they are teaching lessons in our community. They are often conductors at high school orchestra and band programs, but we're the place where these amazing professional musicians in Wichita come together and really get to exercise their musical muscles.
Hey Tim, I got a question for you. So
yeah,
you said the season starts, in a couple weeks, and it runs through. Is it through next May or something like that?
Yeah, our last main stage concert will be in May, and then we'll have Symphony in the Gardens a week after that, which is our event in Botanica, and then it goes pretty quiet, sort of June through August, September.
So I was looking through the concert list last night, and I actually uploaded all the dates, all the shows onto the Wichita by EB calendar. So for those watching at home, you can check out the arts calendar, the live music calendar, the event calendar, and all the shows will be on there. But for those that can't make it, say that the 2nd, 4th, or 5th, what are the can't miss shows? What's the ones that people should really put on the calendar or be on the lookout for?
Yeah, I'd say look in November. I'm going to make sure I don't screw up the date myself here. Sunday, November 16th, we have one called What Music Is, which has, again, projections over the full orchestra. There's narration with that. Most of the music in there is kind of traditional classical music, but it's telling the story of how music works in some ways. How does it function in human life and culture, but also relate to the universe, the cosmos as a whole. I thought if you enjoy shows like Nova or some of those type of things, this is kind of like a live version of that about music. The narrator is great. He just gets an audience sort of wrapped around his fingers, just the way he talks and tells stories. And that's going to be, for families, that'll be a great show to come to. It's an 80-minute performance straight through without an intermission in there, and again, a full multimedia thing. Then Valentine's Day, if you're one of those who panics and realizes, oh no, February 14th is coming up, because we happen to have Century 2 on February 14th, we decided we need to lean into that. We're having a tango show, Tango Caliente, full orchestra up there, dancers up at the front of the stage, a great guest singer coming in. There's going to be a little fire, a little romance. That is going to be a really fun one on February 14th. So don't miss that. And then we've got a couple shows in 2026 that lean into the 250th of the United States. So one that's more kind of classical traditional music, Rhapsody in Red, White, and Blue, but you'll hear some Bernstein, some Gershwin on there. And then we've got a great jazz trumpeter, conductor, singer. He's going to kind of do it all in May. That leans into sort of roots music, spirituals, gospel, that type of thing, celebrating the music of our country.
Did anybody know that next year is 250 years?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, I did know that.
I didn't
it was
know
not
that
on my
until
radar. It was not on my radar.
Well, now I know. All right.
The semi-quincentennial, I believe, is the official terminology, if you can remember.
What's that term again?
Semi-quincentennial.
Semi-quincentennial. Okay.
Yeah.
Say that 5 times.
I did not know that.
That's going to be a crazy fourth.
Speaking of years, when was the Wichita Symphony founded? And that might be a nuanced question. I totally understand that, and I would be interested in the nuanced answer.
Yeah, so 1944. Last season was our 80th anniversary, so we were celebrating that. So this is going to be our 81st coming up here. There had been a number of attempts before that to start an orchestra, a professional orchestra here, but they all sort of fell through after a few months or a single season. So in 44 was the one that came together and it stuck. And actually in a couple of years, in 1947, we formed the Wichita Symphony Youth Orchestra. So we will be celebrating the 80th anniversary of that just a couple of years from now.
Very cool.
That's awesome.
So I was looking at the website as well, and I saw like the past Wichita Symphony conductors. Is that something is that a role that someone takes on, and then just when they leave, and the next person takes over? Or
yeah, it's being a conductor or music director it's a big job. They're sort of deciding artistically where do we want to go, but also has to keep the orchestra together literally while performing the music, but needs to sort of keep these artists and musicians inspired and excited about what we're doing. Often, some orchestras go through conductors fairly quickly. Every few years they'll kind of bring someone new in, but Maestro Daniel Hagee, who we've had, I think last year was his 15th year, has been great, and the orchestra still, I think, loves playing for him. He is still inspiring people here in the community. He conducts also in New York with an orchestra, but I'm thrilled to have him as a partner here in Wichita.
As far as the instrumentalists go, is that something that's grassroots, or a lot of these guys Wichita born and bred? Do they come from other, like, where do we where does the makeup of the orchestra kind of come from?
It's a pretty wide mix. About half, I would say, are sort of from Wichita or have regional roots. We've started putting in our program books marking which of our professional musicians got their start in our youth orchestras program, and it's a good, quite a good number of them. That's awesome. As we're doing auditions year to year, and there's usually only a couple seats that open up each season, but we are getting more and more out of town musicians that will drive in on concert weeks. So we filled a couple of those spots this past spring, and those folks will pull into town on the Wednesday before the concert. We have 4 full days of rehearsal, and then it is concert time.
Very cool.
Anybody here have band experience or played an instrument growing up?
Not in the band.
Yeah.
My nephew played in the K-State band for a while. That's the closest thing I have attachment to a band, like a orchestra like that. But
I have DJ'd with some orchestra folks, and it gave me a whole new appreciation for what a conductor does, because I realized that as a DJ, I'm very much on time, mixing beat to beat, back to back. And as we were working on some stuff together, I was throwing beats while they were playing some Vivaldi and keeping them on. Sometimes they tend to flow and kind of go. I was like, oh, now I understand. Like, they are locked into a conductor, keeping them on top. I was blown away, and I don't know if this was unique to this group or what, but their sense of timing, they definitely need to follow. I'm tapping my toe, like I'm always locked into a beat. So again, what a conductor does, that I definitely underappreciated. I will say, because I'm like, well, yeah, you just keep the beat, but with the various pieces and everything else. But yeah, I have gotten to work with a handful of people that have been a part of the Wichita Symphony, and it's definitely been an enjoyable experience doing stuff like that.
Speaking of underappreciated, I think, because I've never been, so I don't have like the full appreciation of the symphony. It's something I probably need to do sooner than later. So like, I think these like one of those things in Wichita that until people go to it, they don't really know anything about it. So there's that underappreciation. So like, why should people care about having a professional symphony orchestra in town?
I think it goes to the question earlier to some degree that these musicians are kind of, in a lot of ways, the musical lifeblood of the community, sort of providing the background for so many great things that go on in town. And even if you want a string quartet for your wedding or something like that, if you want really quality musicians, there's a good chance they're coming from from our orchestra. But I'd also say our education programs sometimes, often we'll bring these up and people will remember like, oh yeah, I did go in elementary school and hear the Wichita Symphony at Century 2 or something, that type of thing. We had over 12,000 kids last year come to our young people's concerts.
Oh, wow.
People come on buses they spend longer on the buses coming to town than they are actually in the hall for the performance. So we are serving the region. Last year, our concerts, we had people from 35 states, more than 50 counties in Kansas came to Wichita Symphony performances. So we're contributing to the economy in a lot of ways. We are doing our part to make Wichita a cultural hub for the region and beyond.
You said 50 counties?
Yeah, so I think we're like right at about the halfway point.
Does anybody know how many counties are in Kansas?
105.
What a loser.
He's been to all 105 of them.
That is correct. All right. Last question, Tim.
Yeah.
Where can people learn more and find tickets for the Wichita Symphony?
Yeah, come to wichitasymphony.org. Follow us on Facebook or Instagram. We've got tickets available online 24/7, or you can find info to call the box office, or usually have tickets available at walk-up, but recommend if you want to get a good seat or choose the seat that you want, jump online ahead of time before showing up at the hall.
All right, Tim. Well, I'm going to add this to my list of things to do. I know, like last week, I said I'm going to attend a film at the Tallgrass Film Festival. And then second, I'm going to add to my bucket list for this year, we'll be attending a symphony. So
yeah, please do. It'll be a good time. You'll enjoy it.
Awesome. We appreciate the
Thanks,
time, Tim.
Thanks,
Tim.
Take care.
All right. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
And we're back. Oh, man, I'm looking forward to the symphony. I'm going to check that one out. But moving on, we have Trestle Truths, sponsored by Trestle Media.
Yeah. So tomorrow, if you did not know, tomorrow is National Daughters Day. I know there's a few dads on this show here that have daughters.
Girl dad.
And man, what are you gonna do with your daughter and celebrate National Daughters Day tomorrow?
Is it just for dads or is it also for moms?
It could be for moms too. Thanks for pointing that out, TKG.
Yeah. I mean,
Absolutely.
every holiday is for everyone these days, TKG.
Especially for Hallmark.
I mean, is your daughter behind you, crawling behind you?
That's a boy.
Oh, that's the boy cat. I always get confused.
So
Eddie was one of those kids growing up that thought all dogs are boys and all cats are girls.
I didn't. Yeah. What are the genders of your cats?
What are what?
What are the genders of your animals? I gotta memorize this.
There's Hope. She's a girl.
Okay.
And Remus, who's a boy, and those are the dogs. And then we've got 3 female cats. That's Tigger, Rue, and Odette. And then we got this little boy back here, and his name is Griff.
Is Griff always the one coming up in your space during the recordings?
Lately. The little one.
And you said Odette?
Odette. She's the next youngest.
What's the reasoning behind the name Odette?
Odette is the name of a character in Swan Lake.
Oh, I thought it was just What You Owe Me.
Odette? I don't know. We'll see if you end up making it to Tallgrass Film Fest.
For the record, TKG still owes me Popeyes.
Hey, I'm down to go anytime, Eddie.
Okay. That's my stick in the crawl. All right, but what's your plans for Daughter's Day, Troy?
So my plan, since it's restaurant week, I'm going to let her pick a restaurant on the cheat sheet list, and we're going to go get something for restaurant week.
Nice.
Tomorrow morning is actually
pastries.
Yeah, pastries morning at my daughter's school. So parents can come in the morning, eat pastries with their children. So whether it's Daughter's Day, whatever day, there's going to be a lot of parents at the school tomorrow. Yes, eating little donuts and whatnot with their kid.
Very good. That's fun.
Carbon, you gonna go back to what's that place in Tulsa? Gathering Place?
The Gathering Place.
Yeah.
Oh, not this week. Not this week. We need a little breather. We had a great time though. I'm telling you what though, I'm still on the lookout for a nice little board game cafe. That was her highlight. She's like, I just love playing all the games. So we'll probably go. Probably just make it like a Target run, or imagine that. Pick up a new game. Imagine that now that they're back, doors are back open. We'll swing over there, pick up a new board game to play. Something.
Doesn't Headshots have like board games?
Yep, they do.
Okay.
Hundreds of board games.
Yeah.
I've been in there and I've played the arcade. I didn't realize. Okay.
Yeah, they have
Now I
a
know.
whole wall of board games. You have that place. There's a lot, and it's coming up. There's a board game event at the Sedgwick County Extension Office on one of these Saturdays, sometime in October.
We've been to that in the past. Yeah,
that's a really good
That's
one.
a great time. Yeah, we picked up a lot of new games there in the years past.
Favorite games you play with your daughter, Carbon? I'm interested to see what kind of board games you guys play.
So she likes she's always been a fan of a lot of like the trivial ones, like the ones that have no skill or strategy, which I'm like, why are we doing this? But no, but lately, like her big go-to, some Rummy Cube, Phase 10, a lot of those number dice games.
Yeah.
As far as a traditional board game, she didn't get into like Levi, my son. He enjoyed like the Catan and some of the larger ones like that. But yeah, she just enjoyed putting the ones together, but never. We always enjoyed them, but again, her go-tos were definitely like the card games, the deck games that were kind of easy and playable. Even when we went down there, they had the name the color. Have you seen that one where you like it's like a full Pantone board and you have to get
clues?
Yes,
that's a fun one.
Yeah, so that one she really liked that. Yeah, but a lot. Gosh, there's so many out there now. I'm trying to think of them all. A lot of the word games, word association games, where like the taboos of the classics, but there's 10 different versions of them, and I can't remember all the names of them. But definitely enjoy those too.
We are big right now on Peppa Pig Shoots and Ladders. So Shoots and Ladders with Peppa Pig characters, and when we play, I get all the way to the top, and then we slide down and have to start all over again. I get so mad. I'm like, just end this game,
long
please.
Slide.
Yeah, somebody, please end this game. And there's games that go on and on and on, and she's laughing when we go both down a big slide near like the third of the top row, all the way to the bottom, and I'm not laughing.
Bad. I remember at that age, Brooklyn was obsessed with a Shopkins board game that we had, and all the time, that's all we played. Good times.
Good times. All right. Well, from good times to bad times, TKG, what's the stick in the craw?
What really gets in my craw, Eddie, are the reality deniers. Typically, these folks wear a lot of purple from approximately August through the month of November, but rarely in December or January, because that's the one thing they love more than their children, and it's over by December. If you want a sure way to know if you're around a reality denier, an RD, check and see if he or she is wearing purple on a Saturday and uncontrollably crying. RDs just love to don purple on Saturdays and are usually in tears. Ironic, isn't it? The RD refuses to accept reality other than during a quiet moment when childlike tears flood the RD's eyeballs. If you're still unable to determine if someone has the disorder, remember the RD sucks at math. For example, an RD claims that winning one time and losing 3 times is better than winning 3 times and losing 1 time. I know it makes no sense, but just have the person you suspect of being an RD perform a simple mathematics test. Ask the RD if 3 is greater than 1. If the RD comes up with any rationale for why 1 is greater, well, you have one of those purple-loving RDs on your hand. So, what do you do once you've identified a reality denier? Not a lot can be done for them because it's an irreversible disorder. However, if you make sure to don some blue and or red when you're around an RD, you'll at least protect yourself from the effect of that drivel. And that is all that can be done with these damn RDs that are in all of our craws.
Oh man.
And we have Annette back, who
Hey,
is
Annette.
actually I think by your definition, TKG, an RD.
A reality denier.
Yeah.
Let's do some math. Hey, Annette, is 3 or 1 greater?
You're on mute, Annette.
And then frozen?
I think she would have gone with 1 is greater than 3. What do you guys think?
So TKG.
She's back.
Okay. So Annette, we're gonna catch you up here. TKG stick in the crawl this week are people who wear purple on Saturdays between the months of August and late November. I think he's talking about you. I don't know for sure, which is my assumption. But
what do you think, Annette?
Are you a reality denier?
Sure thing. Bring it on, buddy. Go Cats.
She's acknowledging that she is, I think.
No. So TKG, these people who wear, blue and white and red, are they reality deniers come March?
Probably come September or October. Probably come October. Well, I'm not confident KU is going to
they have terms.
Finish strong, but we'll see.
So there's terminology instead of just the people that wear blue and white. It's actually KU.
Rock chalk, baby.
It's a rough one.
Not growing up here, understanding the rivalry, and I grew up without college sports, so I was very far removed. Man, it cracked me up. I have a wedding coming up on this Saturday, and they're like, "Do not play Mr. Brightside," because we have one side that's the reality deniers, as TKG would call them, and the other wearing blue and red, and they don't want a fight to start when the FKU chant starts. They're like, "Just avoid that song," and I'm like, that is hysterical. I cannot play a song because I'm in the state of Kansas. I remember when I played that song at a wedding in Colorado, and it was just a turn-up great time. I was like, this is so nice. Everyone just enjoys the song without an annoying chant. I love it.
I did some research in preparing the stick that's in my craw, and I did not know this, and I just think you guys might think it's interesting. KU actually does have the winning record, or whatever you want to call it, as it relates to head-to-heads with K-State. Overall, it's like 60. It's not substantial, but it's like 65 to 55 since the first
you're talking
rivalry.
You're talking strictly football, right, TKG?
Correct. Yeah. Obviously, KU basketball.
Annette is not liking this.
No, the Sunflower Showdown is October 25th, and I think there should be a friendly wager between Annette and TKG.
What do you think, Annette? Do you want to do a little wager? I think she does.
I speak for Annette. I'm going to speak for Annette, and I'm going to say yes.
Okay.
Speaking
on behalf of Annette, what's her deal? What's her bet?
We're going to take this offline.
And get some time to figure out.
We're going to figure out because, like I said, TKG is zero debt?
Oh, wait, what? Zero debt.
What was the term you said earlier?
Oh, well, I was talking about my cat named Odette.
Odette, yeah, Odette. So TKG is all about the Odettes, Owen debts. So
I think they need to wear the other team's jersey. That's where my heart's at. I just think
or a hat or a jersey, something visible.
Hey, we'll talk to Annette about that
at the dinner table.
Yeah.
For the dinner table. I think this is.
Are we doing?
Spicy.
Given K-State's woes this season, are we doing a straight up bet or are we doing the Vegas line?
No. We just whoever loses, they got to wear the jersey. Absolutely.
So whoever loses, like, there's no
Straight
line.
up.
Yeah.
Straight up. Yep.
Straight up.
So Annette, let's see if Annette hops back on. If she does, we're gonna run it by her
Okay.
because I know she's on the road. She's on the dinner table from the road. So we'll, if her face appears, we'll ask. If not, we're gonna move on to what's good in Wichita. It's time for everyone to come prepared with something cool, heartwarming they've seen. Someone deserves a shout out. I'll start. I want to give a shout out to the East YMCA Men's Club. I attended their fundraiser this past weekend, and it was an incredible event. They had Raha, Mediterranean there, Fiorito, Jumbos, culinary catering. The food is phenomenal. Casey Abai was playing music all night long, and they raised an incredible amount of money for the youth of our city. I'm all about organizations that support the youth. I think it's really big to build up the future of our society. So shout out to them and shout out to all the attendees who came and helped raise some big money for the kids. TKG.
I want to give a shout out to, I believe it's Small Cakes Cupcakery. Did I say that right? Cupcakery. And the reason I want to shout them out, they are a participant in ICT Restaurant Week that is happening right now through the end of the day, Saturday, that benefits the Kansas Food Bank, which we already talked about. The reason I'm shouting them out specifically was I was told by the folks over at Kansas Food Bank that after last year, after this event was over, Small Cakes Cupcakery reached out like pretty within a few weeks afterwards or a short period of time saying, hey, we want to be part of this too. And I just think it deserves recognition when a local business is amped to do something to benefit the greater community. So shout out to Small Cakes Cupcakery.
All right, Troy.
Yeah, I want to shout out Joe Stump and Mark Arts. My wife and I recently went to another culinary class over at Mark Arts that they put on, and their culinary class season is coming up. Man, they got a lot in October and November that you can go join. But we had a great time. It was our first one without the dinner table crew, so it was a little different. But it was just as fun getting to meet other people and being able to cook some, an amazing like 4-course meal. So a lot of fun. And if you like to cook, or if you don't even know how to cook, you should check this out because they put on a good class. It's a lot of fun.
So what did you make?
We made a focaccia bread pizza, and then we made pastry wrapped olives, thrice stuffed chicken thighs, which were amazing, and it had some vegetables and stuff, risotto along with it. So it's really good. Really good.
Real quick question, Troy. If you were to host a cooking class on wieners, what is your preferred method for cooking wieners?
For cooking wieners, I like grilling wieners the best. I've done it all kinds of ways, but grilling is probably my favorite.
Is that charcoal or propane?
I would go with the smoky charcoal
There you go.
over the propane, always, if I had my choice.
Okay. Carbon.
Well, I'm going to piggyback on both you guys. You talk about organizations. I did get to be a part of Wags and Whiskers for Wall this past weekend. Love those guys. Thank you to everyone that came out and supported. I've given them a shout out a bunch, so I don't want to do that again. But also speaking on Restaurant Week, in addition to these restaurants giving up a portion of what the money coming in, I think another part of that people don't see is the prep that has to go in. They have to update their systems so they could recognize and keep track of all the things. Over this past week, before this week, I was at a couple of these spots, and they're like having conversations with the representatives from the food bank, making sure that they could keep track of things, setting up their systems. So in addition to just giving the money and some of the benefits, they also got to set up their systems. There's a lot of extra things that they do to participate in that. And just again, it's amazing that they are giving to this cause, but then to go above and beyond to do that extra thing to really be a part of it. It's more work. Sorry.
He loves you.
Yeah. So no. In addition to giving to a great cause, they also go above and beyond with just getting everything set up and. Whew. Yes. So shout out to all the participants in Restaurant Week. Go support all those amazing places.
And on top of that, I think people don't realize how slim restaurant margins are.
Sure.
So to already cut into those massively slim margins, shout out to those restaurants.
Absolutely.
All right, Annette, you're up.
My shout out this week, people doing good in our community, especially when it comes to people who are going through the toughest time in their lives, people who are fighting things like cancer. So Breast Cancer Awareness Month coming up very soon, and we have Sing for the Cure, and it's an event here in Wichita, a tradition at Plymouth Congregational Church, bringing in lots of different choirs and performers to showcase their support for people who are fighting cancer. And I think it's just so beautiful to see it. I'm actually going to be an MC and a narrator at this event with my co-host from Kansas Now, Max Dutton. And I love it because Max is such a great and natural, just wonderful performer. So to be able to see him and other people just pour their hearts and souls into this. And so many people have connections to cancers, whether it's breast cancer or another type. And I just look at that and I'm like, you know what? This is really amazing. For people who are going through that fight, I'm certainly thinking of you, but I hope you get to go to events like this to see that love, because we are pouring our hearts out for you all, hoping that you feel it all, and also to see the end game of all this, to see money raised and given to great efforts to help fight and make sure that no one else has to go through this fight alone.
Okay. Thanks, Annette. With that said, to all my guests, TKG, Troy, Annette, Carbon, it's a pleasure seeing y'all. Look forward to seeing who wins this Sunflower Showdown bet here in a few weeks.
Oh, yeah.
And to all the cats, oh, look at that. Look at just loves you so much. All right. You've all been excused from the dinner table.
Good night.